Unpopular opinion time. So I tweeted this on X and it says, it's lame Kendrick called Drake a pedo without hard evidence. That's the same tactic they use on Michael Jackson to try to destroy him. And of course, this caused up a firestorm with almost 400,000 hits and counting. So I had to make this video for all the morons in the thread who don't understand context, law, and how the government works. So shut up, sit back, relax, and let me break this down to you. Going back to Michael Jackson's case, they used this same thing, called him a PDF file, a weirdo, a child abuser, but no evidence. And mind you, the first case, they extorted Mike, they got money out of him, and then they doubled back and said, oh yeah, just kidding, we were lying. And if you remember this flip-flopping piece of shit right here where he says he was abused, then he wasn't, then he was again with Oprah. Now his case was state, not federal, but he was raided by the FBI, in which the feds have over a 90% conviction rate. The FBI provided technical and investigative assistance to California law enforcement, but found no evidence of criminal conduct by Michael Jackson. Keyword, evidence. Now people in the threads were like, well, there's evidence of Drake kissing a 17-year-old. Now this happened back in May of 2010, and this happened in Denver, Colorado, but there's context. First of all, yes, it's fucking weird. Illegal? No. Again, here's where it gets muddy, but the legal age of consent in Colorado is 17 years old. In my personal opinion, anything with teen behind it shouldn't be the age of consent. I mean, you have 13, 14, 17, 19. I mean, it's illegal to be with a 13-year-old, but it's legal to be with a 17-year-old? Really, the age of consent should be 20 or 21 because you can drink at 21, but you can go to the army at 18. It's all this moving goalpost shit. And at the age of 20, 21, you really start to understand intimacy, relations, etc. So it's not really a aha gotcha moment, but this is why we have state laws. If you don't like it, this is why we have a House of Representatives that represent you for these bills and laws to be passed. And let's not forget, Michael Jackson did the greatest deal in music history by purchasing Sony ATV for $41 million back in 1985. Which gave him ownership of his music and the Beatles and future artists like Beyonce and Eminem. It's funny, as soon as he does this deal, just a few short years later, he has all these charges coming about. Very interesting. Now the question is, does Drake own his masters? The answer is yes. He did one of the biggest deals of our time in 2022, where it's a licensing deal with Universal. Oh, would you look at that? Drake claims that Universal and Spotify inflated Kendrick's Not Like Us. So could it be that now Universal is now conspiring against Drake because he's a free agent? They gave him $400 million and he's good for it. They're gonna make money, but they could write that off as well. So you mean to tell me we're gonna have the same energy for Michael Jackson and Drake, but not have the same energy for Woody Allen? He literally married his own stepdaughter, which means, in my opinion, they probably had a relationship before she was of age. So nobody's investigating this at all or thinking this is even weird whatsoever. Gets even worse. Clint Eastwood did a movie back in 1971 called The Beguiled. He has a scene in the movie where he kisses an 11-year-old girl without her consent.
What's your name, girl?
Amelia. But everybody calls me Amy.
I'm Corporal John McBurney, but everybody calls me McB. How old are you, Amy?
12. 13 in September.
Old enough for kisses.
What? Now, the actress in that movie, Pamela Ferdin, said that she wasn't expecting that because it wasn't in the script. She finds out the director told Eastwood to do it because she said that they used the first take because of her stunned expression, which was real, was perfect. I'm sorry, in what universe is a grown man kissing an 11-year-old girl without her consent perfect? I say we investigate some of these old Hollywood figures because there's more than enough evidence there. Now, what my whole thing with Drake is, just calling him a PDF file doesn't make it true. We need evidence, we need witness statements, a thorough investigation. I don't know, maybe some victims coming forward. And again, this is what they did to Mike, so I don't agree with it. So I guess that's why it's an unpopular opinion.